Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we left off at the sentencing. So you said you got sentenced to 53, Zod got sentenced to 117.
Zaire got 107 to life. The reason why our sentences is different is because he got found guilty of all the top charges, which was 3 assaults in the first, murder in the second, and 1 count of assault in the second. So, and they ran everything consecutive, meaning one after another. So the highest amount of time that you could get for assault in the first is 25 years. You take 25 times 3, that's 75, plus 25 to life for the murder in the second, that's 100 to life, and 7 years for the assault in the second degree is 107 to life. For me, I was found not guilty of the 3 assaults in the first and found guilty of 4 assaults in the second and murder in the second. So my charges was ran consecutive also. So you got 4 assaults in the second, all 7 years apart. So that's 7, 14, 21, 28, plus 25 to life for the murder. That's 53 to life. That's how our sentences equaled up like that.
So after you get sentenced and shipped, then you get shipped upstate, what are some of the proceedings that you did immediately after? What do you do right after?
Well, you get it was called a direct appeal. This is a right that everyone that goes to trial has. So in my direct appeal, I didn't have any money coming up north, still broke, and they appointed me a lawyer, which was from the Appellate Advocates. This is a group of like the Legal Aid Society, but I guess a little bit better. Now, they appointed me this lawyer named Barry Stendig, which I really did not like. He did not want to do anything for my case, which, if you read anything about my case, he only argued 2 points. I tried to give him all types of evidence that proved that I was not guilty, and he deliberately chose not to go into any of it because it was, it wasn't argued against, it wasn't objected to during my trial, which is part of the law. So it's like the law, the way that the law is written in New York State is against you because you have a right to a lawyer for your appeal, but your appellate lawyer does not have to, does not have to argue a 440 motion, which is a post-judgment motion after the fact. So since you don't have a right to the post-judgment motion, your lawyer doesn't have to argue it if he doesn't feel like it. And that's my way of being home.
So that's your way of getting home?
Yeah, with the evidence that proves my innocence. Okay, well, there was a situation during my trial where they used my phone records to link me to Pele. And what happened was...
First of all, tell me a little bit about this Pele guy. What happened to him? People want to know what happened to Pele.
In exchange for his testimony, he got sentenced to 4 to 12 years, which was, his sentence is 12 years, but he's eligible for parole in 4 years. And at the time that he testified, he had 2 years in already. So he was ultimately going to go off state for 2 years and go home and be back in the street. Wow.
And that's what happened?
Yeah, doing a century or a half. Yeah. That's what he got a 4 to 12, and he's home. We have no idea where he is.
And so that happened already. He's home, and there's no... Hold on. So he's already home?
Yeah, he's home, and there's no contact between us.
So, did he land anywhere around you guys?
You said, do we have what?
Did he land anywhere around you guys? No, he wouldn't have landed around you guys, but was there any contact with him in the state or anywhere? Like, anybody heard from him since?
No, there was only from before we came up north. It was like certain contact or whatever. I wrote him a letter when I first got to Rikers Island. I wrote him a letter because the police was the one that told me that he ultimately was the person that gave me, like, gave them my name or whatever, and he's the reason why I was locked up. I didn't believe it because I thought that he was a different type of cat. So I wrote him a letter asking him if he did this and telling him that I don't believe that he's a part of this crime, and absolutely I'm not a part of this crime. So, we need to stick together. If they trying to charge both of us with something they do, innocent people don't go to prison. So we need to stick together. I gave him my lawyer's phone number and told him to contact my lawyer. This guy, he gives my letter to the district attorney, and they try to use it as if I'm trying to coerce him into doing something or whatever. They try to convince him.
Oh, wow.
In the letter, yeah.
He really did that? That's crazy.
He really did that.
That's crazy, man. Wow, this is an alleged stand-up street dude, Crip kid, blood kid.
I wouldn't say he was Crip or blood. He was one of those kids somehow I go where there's always this motherfucker that's around, want to hang out with everybody. So.
Oh yeah, one of them dudes.
He with the Crips, he Crip. When he with the Bloods, he Bloods. When he's with the GDs, he GD. Whenever he's with neutral kids, he's neutral. That's the type of person he was. He's like a chameleon,
He sounds like a snake, man. It's for what he did. His character matches, though. I don't know this brother, but his character sounds like it matches, though.
Yeah,
like
that's exactly.
He care less about anybody or any one type.
But that should have been a red flag for me, But I didn't embrace him as no type of brother anyway. I just knew him from different chicks and him being around, So it's not like as if we were actually friends or anything. So when that whole situation happened, I was kind of shocked that he had something like had my name in his mouth when it comes down to this. I was really shocked. I couldn't believe it.
That's crazy. That's ridiculous, man. I could believe it, man. Not because of him, but because a lot of individuals, when there's pressure, like a state prison did or long term, a lot of individuals are unable to withstand that. So the outcome usually ends as an individual not adhering to the principles that he has alleged to have stood on. So it's unfortunate that you and that young brother Ziggy got tied up, with something that was just not for y'all, man. You individuals had appropriate alibis. Appropriate witnesses, one or two, that said you guys weren't around, and solely the police went off of an individual who obviously didn't want to do any state time or any time. That's just unfortunate.
I can't. Your phone is breaking up. I can't hear you too good.
What'd you say, my brother?
The phone was breaking up. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I said that's just unfortunate that your young brothers had to get tied up into that, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Especially when you're innocent, when you're actually innocent of something. And at my trial, there was proof that I had nothing to do with the crime. I had an alibi witness. My good friend, she testified saying that me and her was almost a mile away from where the shooting had happened during the time of the shooting. Now, I told the officers on October 30th that I was in the Macy's shopping because two of my friends got murdered about a week before that. My friends KK and Poppy, rest in peace. They was both shot, gunned down by the police on Rutland Road, East 95th Street. So
yeah, I remember that. Shout out to those brothers. I was locked up at the time. Shout out to those brothers. Yeah,
so they both was killed. Now, they both popular throughout different neighborhoods and all of that. So, their funeral is going to be a spectacle. You can't just show up to these dudes' funeral looking like those poop butt broke motherfuckers. So I went to go get some new outfits, jewelry, to wear to the funeral. And it just so happened to be on October 27th. The day after they got killed, I went to the funeral. The day after they got killed, I went to Macy's to go shopping with my homegirl. Now, you would think that if I give the police my whereabouts, they will go to Macy's downtown on Fulton Street and check the cameras. There's thousands of cameras up and down Fulton Street. They never even checked they never cared to check to see if I was actually there or not. But she testified saying that we was there. Also, there's other evidence that proved that I was innocent because Pele testified saying that me, him and Zaire was in the car the entire time, and we didn't leave his side until it was time to do the shooting. But my phone shows that I'm calling Pele's phone 3 minutes before and 3 minutes after the shooting happened. How could I be calling Pele's cell phone 3 minutes before and 3 minutes after the shooting if I'm supposedly in the back seat the way he testified it?
And it's at this point, I know since you've been up north in contact for the moment, and I know you've been putting in great efforts for your legal defense, my brother. Great efforts to try to free your name. And hopefully, with this type of level of evidence, things will really shape up for you. And maybe someone who even hears your story would be able to, point you in the right direction, assist you in some way, some form, because assistance is needed, man. Especially for a young brother that's only 37 years old and been down half of that already,
Yeah.
And that's the goal of this is first to get your story out there, let people know you're human. You're not what your number says you are. You're not what your charges read. That you just come from an environment that perpetuates violence, and that's just how that happens. Perpetuates violence. Gang violence is at an all-time high at this current point. I don't know if you've been hearing about it or I know you see them coming up north, but nothing has changed in our neighborhoods. It's even worse. There's less unity than it was when you were out. But things are still doing the same. And a young brother that's listening to this or any older brother, they will hear that the system, once they grab you, they don't care. They just need to convict you. That's really what it is. You just need to be convicted. They need to solve this case, to close it as quick as possible so they can move on to the next one. And whatever tactics that they use to get to you, it's all fair game, in a sense.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. It's all fair game. And I truly, truly shout out to you, my boy Zah, good brothers, that's down in the struggle, stay tall, never told, never fold. And it's just a series of events, man. Before we end off, did you come to jail as a gang member? Yeah. And then how did that relationship? Because you were on a case with a bunch of Crips, especially a publicized Crip like that. Did that cause you any problems in the jail?
Well, at first it didn't because I am who I am. So a lot of people know of me, know who I was and what I was about in the street. So when I was on Rikers Island, I didn't have too many problems. But I didn't like the way that, the gang that I was affiliated with for so long was being portrayed. And I would say all of the things that was accepted that wasn't accepted when I was young, but is accepted now, I didn't agree with any of it. So ultimately I left it all alone. And because it's, when you stand alone in prison, it's like it puts a target on your back. Now because of my name, and I don't have the team behind me like I did before, so now it's those types of people that want to jump out the window and try you, because I'm all by myself, essentially. So I had to, there's a couple of things that I had to do.
Demonstrations, right?
Yeah, a couple of demonstrations that I had to do to make people, let them know, what Jigga said, these niggas want to test you when your gun goes wrong.
It does. That happens. That happens, though. That is a fact, though. That happened to.
Absolutely.
That happens to me a lot, though. That's a fact. They do. That's a fact.
When you're trying to chill, and, I'm trying to just fight my case and go home, there's other kids in here that has nothing else better to do but start some type of trouble.
Kids, too. Well, not even just kids. It's dudes our age, too. Old ass dudes that start a lot of trouble, too.
Older, all types wives, but I call them all kids because they have child mentality. I like to call them Toys R Us kids because they never want to grow up, you know?
That's a fact, though.
But because of that, I had to do a couple of things. So I've been, throughout the almost 13 years I've been locked up, I spent the majority of the time in the box because people would try to do things, and I'm not just going to let anyone do anything to me. That's never going to happen. I've never been like that, and I never will. So if they think that it's something sweet, then, you know, step up and get knocked down.
That's my God. Left it alone. You're neutral right now. You're taking care of family. How baby girl doing? Your wife? What's your family situation like right now?
My daughter is beautiful. She's so beautiful. She's doing all the right things. She's 18 now.
Good. It's a pivotal age, man. Good.
Yeah, she'll be 18. Excuse me. I'm sorry, baby girl. She'll be 18 in December.
All
She's
crazy.
17 now. She just got her first job. She got a learner's permit. She's doing all the right things. You know, she's daddy's little girl. You know, me and my wife.
You have 1 minute left.
Me and my wife going strong. On the 19th, it'll be 20 years that we've been together. And
right. That's peace.
She's still kicking the door down, coming to see me.
Supposed to be that way. That's a good look. That's a good look, man. Extreme loyalty. The best thing that ever happened to me was her. Shout out to my wife. I don't want to say her name on this podcast because she's really shy, but that's good. That's good. We also got a segment called Prison Wives, man, where we sit them prison wives down and we talk to them. We have conversations with them. We sit them down at dinner because we got a thing called Breaking Bread. We sit them down at dinner and just talk to them, man. Their hardships that they had to go through while y'all brothers is up north, or us brothers, whomever, and what they got to do, how they got to hold it down, how they got to step in. So one day we're going to reach out to her, take her to dinner, sit her down, and just have a conversation with her. Even if we don't put her face up there.
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye.